Coralie and I'm one of the co-founders and the director of Gap Filler. What's Gap Filler? Well, we activate vacant sites in post-quake Christchurch with creative temporary projects for community benefit. And we've done about 30 projects thus far around the city on gaps, and that includes everything from painted pianos to a book exchange in an old fridge to giant artworks to event-based projects like the cycle-powered cinema. And more recently the dancer mat, which is probably one of our most famous projects, and Prince Charles and Camilla had a boogie on it late last year. Organisations like Gap Filler and Greening the Rubble and other projects here are showing that there's a new way of bringing life to the city. That's not just about what you build.
So after the September earthquake, when I found out about Gap Filler, I remembered this newspaper cutting and I thought, oh, that might be a really cool idea to do a book exchange. So I got in touch with Coralie and we made it happen.
Everyone has ideas and people get so excited by the opportunity or the chance to actually make their idea come to life.
So Gap Filler is about creative activism. There's simply those two words, very much focused on creative projects, taking either ideas that we have developed ourselves or ideas from the community and then putting them into action.
Recovery after a disaster, it happens from the bottom up as well as the top down. And if you can find a way for people to get involved and contribute, it's so good for those people and it's so good for the community in a wider sense. So the Pallet Pavilion is our biggest, most ambitious project to date. It's our first project that required a building consent. And Gap Filler conceived of this project to address the fact that in Christchurch we've lost so many venues for live music and for other community events. So we decided to build a temporary architecture structure out of about 3,000 pallets for use across the summer months between 2012 and 2013. The Pallet Pavilion was built from 3,000 wooden pallets, and at the end of the project they'll go back to being pallets. The seats are actually fruit crates and the tables are potato crates, and the temporary foundation comes from a building that was demolished a little way from here, and at the end of the project the temporary foundation is going to farmers who will use them as bridges. So there's a real ethos with our projects of repurposing and recycling. There's a lot of waste that's been happening here as a result of demolition, and we really want to use things that already exist, store them as a building, use it and then return those things back to ongoing uses. So we don't want to create waste. So that's pretty cool. We think that we're repurposing on recycling material, storing it as a building as such for a short period of time and demonstrating the possibilities of this transitional phase of Christchurch. It's a really exciting time for experimentation and innovation and to connect everyday people with the rebuild of their city. Another really amazing thing about this project is that it was built by over 250 volunteers, giving 2,600 approximately hours. That happened over 6 weeks. That's quite amazing, it blows my mind. And also we have about 50 or more sponsors, local businesses and companies that have given us materials or skilled labour or all sorts of things, and we couldn't have possibly done this project without them. So it's a really amazing testament to a shared vision and community spirit.
It's evolved into an amazing project. Basically, it's brought together a very diverse group of people, many of them who are volunteers, and everybody has learned tremendously along the way.
Any city that suffers a natural disaster then becomes known as, for us, Earthquake City, or like, New Orleans is Hurricane Katrina. That's forever as part of their identity. So it's really important people find a way to help create a new identity, and that's exciting It's hard work, but that's I think a really important part of the recovery.
Kind of lets them know that there is something going on and they can come and relax somewhere and enjoy just good vibes.
Yeah, this project, I think, in the post-quake chaos of Christchurch, where so much has been out of people's control, their homes have been destroyed or damaged, and this project has allowed people to be creative but to make something positive from that, so to get some control back.
The pavilion's being used for live music and other events. Thus far we've had things like a Twilight Vintage Market, outdoor cinema, kids pirate party, rehearsals, university lectures, a shared dinner and much, much more. We have coffee during the day and cold drinks, and then 3 nights a week, Thursday to Saturday, we have a special licence and we have a wee bar.
Projects like the pavilion and the rest of the gap filler work is giving the community something to physically be part of in the rebuild, something that they can claim and lay ownership to. And that for me is so important.
One of the biggest challenges with this project for gap filler is that we're required to have someone here 24 hours a day. And that's because, as part of our building consent, the fire service expressed their concerns about the temptation this project would pose for arsonists. The result of that is we've been paying a guard to be here from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day, and that's really expensive for us. So when we were faced with this challenge of, do we pull the project and not do it, or do we do it anyway and hope that we're able to, through our community, that's you, raise some more funding for that cost, we thought we've got to do that. We've got to try. We can't give up. So we didn't. We did it. It's amazing that we've done it, but that's the ongoing challenge that we have. So we would really appreciate your donations towards this project to help us with that ongoing cost. The Pallet Pavilion is on the site of the former Crown Plaza, so it's on the corner of Kilmore and Durham Streets in Christchurch. So if you're around before the end of April, come and visit.